Fred in Denver. Hey, Fred, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, listen, it's an honor to speak to you. I wanted to tell you, I'm one of your successful tigers, and the reason that I'm successful, I probably read a couple hundred books on technical analysis over the last 10 or 15 years. I'm a retired public school teacher, and I heard you talking today on your earlier show that if you really knew what you were doing in this business, you probably wouldn't have to work again. And I wake up every morning, I look at your book, I can tell you, every other author is just pales in comparison to your clarity. I just wanted to thank you.
Oh, I really appreciate it.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Well, welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Create new agreements based on respect and love. Take the responsibility to make new agreements with those you love. If an agreement doesn't work, change the agreement and create a new one. Use your imagination to explore all the possibilities. Folks, you can make any type of agreement you want. You're the boss. That's the bottom line. Mechanized, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow Industrials up 17, NASDAQ up 28, S&P's up 6, gold contract up $4.10, trading at $1,782 an ounce. Silver up 51 cents at $34.54 an ounce. Platinum flat at $1,642 an ounce. Copper $3.49 a pound. Light sweet crude up $1.29 at $99.43 a barrel. Bonds down 3 ticks at 141.22. King dollar up 38 ticks rather at 78.14. Euro down 10 at 135.31. And the yen is flat at 77.08. Our phone number is 877. (927-6648). Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? Okay. We get to a price point today, folks, of $12.64. We close at $12.57. You're up $6. We do $780 million. What you have here, folks, is this. Is that you have a market that is coming into the supply line, and the supply line that I'm speaking of, there's 2 separate supply lines. The easiest supply line is from January of this year up until August. That supply line there, just that line alone, okay, the market is having a huge problem with. What we've done is this. We keep trying to get up into that line, and the volume keeps dying on the vine. And I mean dying on the vine. This is dramatic how it dies. And I've seen volume die before, but now you're talking each and every time you're up there in 700. We did 780 million today. That 780 million, folks, is going against 1.4 billion. Each time that energy gets expended in the market, period, okay, it has been losing more energy. Now, what does it mean? What it means, folks, is distribution is going on. And distribution is on low volume. And my point is this. When we've had as far as I'm concerned, markdown already started. See, markdown actually started in July. That was the first markdown. Fast, furious, huge expansion of volume. You're going to see this next leg come down. It's going to be the same deal. It's going to be fast, furious, huge expansion of volume. Now, that's the supply line. That's the recent supply line. When we bring this back to 07, what you're actually going into is a much larger supply line. And that's the larger context of it. That supply line there will bring you all the way back to 2006. Actually, before that. That's 2006. It's a monster, folks. And that's what you have. What you have is that there's a pushing of equities into the marketplace by professionals, onto retail clients. That's your S&P. We go to the Dow Industrials. You take a look at the Dow. This is what you have with the Dow. Same setup. Dow Industrials today up $17. You did 780 million versus 700 million. You're going into the 1.4 billion. You bring this back to 07. You're dealing with the same type of supply lines. Huge problem. Now, let's go over to the NASDAQ Composite. We take a look at the NASDAQ Composite. Same setup in the Composite. Composite today is up 28 bucks. We did 1.6 billion. The 1.6 billion, folks, is going into 2.4 billion. Supply line, we bring this back, and what you're going to see, the supply line, exact same supply line. We're talking about, see, the smaller supply line should not have been a problem to take out, if in fact you're going to go up to highs. But because markdown started in July, and you had that August downdraft, it can't even make it by that. Forget trying to make it into and over the 05, 06 levels. And the NASDAQ Composite itself should be able to make it because, see, the NASDAQ basically had a high out there of 2007 of 2861. The S&Ps were much higher. The Dow Industrials were much higher. The NASDAQ just can't get it going. Now, let's go over to good old King Dollar, because King Dollar, folks, no matter how many times they try to whack it, bottom line, that baby just does not want to back off. What we did out here today, King Dollar traded from a low of 77.62 to a high of 78.31. This session is closed out at 78.13. You did 25,000 contracts. She's closing, folks, right at the top of the range. She's going to basically try to jump into this 78.43, and we'll see what she does when she gets up there. My take is that she does want to get up to this $80 level. That's the small ABC. It's real possible that what you're going to have is you're going to have a much larger ABC inside that context that will bring you up to the 89 level. Bond market. Let's go over to the bonds. We take a look at bonds. What we have with bonds out here is this. 30-year bond, sideways move out here today. Couldn't make it over the highs, but it's staying up at those highs. Did 307,000 contracts. That 307,000 contracts, trying to get it to where we had 355,000 contracts, and what you have there is that's at 143.07. What I expect you're going to see, bonds want to get into the 147. If it breaks the 147, that is one huge ABC structure in the way up. Now, let's go over to the gold contract. What do we have with gold? Gold right now is at 1782. 120,000 contracts out here today. And bottom line with gold is that it's in distribution, and what you have is this. It looks to me like the top of this consolidation is not the highs. The top of the consolidation is about 1826 to 1840. The bottom of the consolidation gets you into 1535. Now, I had speculated that Paulson was selling gold. Well, bottom line, folks, it came out, last night at 1 minute of 4 Eastern Standard Time. He had a file by then. That's exactly when he filed. And bottom line, he sold 1/3 of his position. Now, 1/3 of his position, folks, is 11,226,460 shares. That filing, by the way, folks, is as of September 30th. What I expect you see out here is that the last 45 days, I suspect that he's still selling. And why? Because, well, there's a couple different reasons. His largest fund is down 34%, unfortunately, and that is down $10 billion. What he's not going to let happen is that he's not going to let his winner, which is gold, turn around and basically get into a losing position also. It's just, he's not going to let that happen. When the fund is down 34%, that's big money. Bottom line, he's moving this out. Now, it gets a little more deviant than that. The press release that one of his men come out with was that he was still bullish gold, and that he was in the futures market now, and he thought it was better in the mining stocks. And I suspect, folks, this is pure PR. The reason I'm saying it is this. About 6 weeks ago, the pieces start coming out. The way that operators work, folks, is this, is that you start putting pieces out. And what happened is that there were pieces that were starting to come out, meaning PR pieces, that because the mining shares were underperforming, that you know, these PR guys thought that would start outperforming. I suspect that was Paulson's machine coming out there saying that. Why? Because that's how you have to push equities out, whether it's to other pros or to the public. Let's go right back to the GLD, because this one here gets really cool. Okay, so who do we have? The largest fund out there, folks, okay, is BlackRock. BlackRock, the president of BlackRock, not the CEO. The CEO, Larry Fink, was on today, but the president was on CNBC a week and a half ago, pumping gold big time. Well, as they were pumping gold, folks, they were selling gold. When you look, if you're watching Tiger TV right now, you're going to see they sold 1.9 million shares, okay, of the GLD. Just push it out, push it out, push it out, baby. They sold another 673,000 shares. So altogether, they sold 2.5 million shares, or they sold 0.40 of the whole position of the GLD. That, folks, is how operators work. Get out there, push it out. And so you can speculate. Now it's factual. They are pushing it out, and they're basically, so when you look at a supply and demand curve, what you have to do is you have to say, okay, where is the demand coming in versus what the supply is out there? I went through all the gold equities out here today, and I can tell you flat out that there's no way that Paulson took that money and went into mining shares. What he did is this. I'll give you the ones he went into. He went into Rheingold Resources, and a really small amount. I think it was 200. Let me get it for you right now. 273,000, I believe. Yeah, 223,000 shares of Rheingold he bought. Okay, and this next one he's going to absolutely get smoked on, and this is a shame too. The next one is an Eco Eagle. An Eco Eagle, folks, is done. It's a done stock. They're in big trouble. Their mine, they had to close one of their mines. That mine was almost 15% of their production. It's not going to open again. Okay, so let me just see this one. He bought an Eco Eagle. Paulson, where are you? Let's see. Well, maybe he didn't buy that much. 1 second. I don't see him at the front here. I'll get to the one on Eco Eagle. But the bottom line, an Eco Eagle, Rheingold Resources is a great stock. An Eco Eagle's an ABC down, folks. You know, I mean, it's a monster ABC down, too. So he'll be moving that. Well, we'll see whether he's going to move it out or not. But the A to B point on this is $40. It's not a good scene. Yeah, it's in big trouble. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. You stay right there, folks. We're coming right back.